And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review. Today, we are reviewing Batman Arkham Origins, released in 2013 on the Xbox. Well, I played it on the Xbox 360. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make a version for Xbox One, seeing Xbox One came out this year. But I cannot verify that right now. If it did, let me know. But anyway, this is the in release order. This is the third installment in the franchise, but in chronological, it is the first one. It takes place before Arkham Asylum, and it kind of just shows the origins of everything that we kind of see happen, both in Asylum and that leads into Arkham City, and I assume Arkham Knight, but I have not played Arkham Knight yet, so I don't know. But anyways, I got a lot of thoughts on this game, so let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, one thing I really liked about this game is that Batman just seems to have a lot more passion in this game. He sounds more aggressive, and he sounds like he cares more. It's more intense, and it really creates some good build-ups to boss fights in the game. I talked about it a little bit, but like in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, there isn't. It just sounds like he's a depressed, like 52-year-old man or something like that. It does not sound like he really has a lot of enthusiasm left. And I know it's supposed to be like a darker game. I know that's kind of like part of his character, but when he's going up and fighting these guys, like it's really cool to see him like very intensely screaming at these enemies and stuff like that, and just fighting really hard. It really does a good job setting up for the battle, so I really like that. And it was really nice. So it's a small detail, but it is a good one. Fast travel also is a very welcome thing in this game, because you do a lot of backtracking across the bridge, on the other side of the bridge, on the other side of the bridge, and up and down and up and down and up and down. So it is good that there's a good fast travel system, though they kind of throw in a wrench where you gotta, get the signal back to these towers, and then you can go and do before you can fast travel and stuff like that, which they're not that difficult to do, but it is kind of just tedious. Um, I will say right off the bat as well, I did not like Joker's voice actor in this game. It just didn't sound like Joker. I like Joker's voice actor in Asylum and City, but I did not necessarily care for the one in this game. It just didn't. He sounds fine. Like, it's not like unbearable to listen to, but he doesn't have that like very Joker-ish voice that we've seen in the other two games that I've seen in movies and whatnot too. So it's just a small thing. But a few other things. Speaking of Joker, it's not just really a Batman Origins game. It's kind of an origin to how Joker and Harley became a thing, and that's really cool to look at as well. We don't really see that totally elaborated when we get like that cool session where like Joker's kind of like, and they're in like the psychology sessions and stuff like that, and then we see Batman meet up with Harley to rescue her, and then also we see her at the very end of the game, but she's we can tell that like Joker's getting into her head and everything like that, and she's like being seduced and everything like that, but we don't see like the full transition from professional psychologist Harley to the Harley that we all know. So I would have liked to see maybe more of that, but who knows, maybe we'll get that in Arkham Knight. Doubt it, but maybe we will. Who knows? Um, there were some things though that just I did not like about this game. The electrocutioner fight was so underwhelming. So underwhelming. A lot of the boss fights in this game, in my opinion, I thought were pretty well thought out. Some of them are a little tedious, and there were a lot that there was just some control mechanisms and some abilities that I just did not care for. The what's the one? The Deathmaker one. Hold on. I'll go find it. That one, it was like the Deathstroke fight, which I think comes right after the Electrocutioner fight. I did not care for that fight at all. I did not like that one. And there was a few other instances of this. The first Bane fight, as well. There's just instances like that where then after you do that boss fight, you'll see like common enemies in the game who have this kind of like a lot more athletic. They'll like be able to dodge your attacks a lot better. You're not able to counter them the first time. You get to like triple countering. And then there's ones where they can charge at you, but also like run in your direction and stuff like that with like the TI1 or whatever it's called. And that's just annoying because one, they're extremely annoying and it really, really overly complicates simple fights, which I'll get to why that's a big problem in a little bit. But two, it doesn't really make the bosses that unique. I mean, there's a few other fights. There's the TI1, whatever it's called, Bane at the end of the game. There's a boss fight with Joker. I wouldn't really call it a boss fight, but you get that. And then there's the Firefly fight, which was just a pain in the ass. That whole bridge sequence was just a gigantic pain in the ass to do, but it is one of the more thought out fights in the game. And honestly, looking back, it probably is my favorite boss fight overall in the video in the game, because it's the only one that didn't have any of the moves or sets thrown into the works of the common enemies post fight. I get it's a pretty late game fight, so it's kind of hard to do that, but I wish to have seen more of that. Um, and then the other reason why it's so bad is because there's just so many of these levels where you first off, this is not a very open world type game. You spend a lot of this game in sewers, in hallways, in tiny rooms, in little tight corridor spaces, just absolutely, or these like rooms where you have to swing from place to place and stealthily kill everybody because they all have guns and they'll obliterate you. That's about 90 to 95% of this game. The other 5% are the cutscenes, the boss fights, and traversing through the world. Like, I mean, there are stuff to do. There is tons of other stuff. There's a lot of side stuff you can do in the game as well. Not as much as City. But more than Arkham Asylum, I will say. So there you go. But that's another thing. It's just, oh my god. I mean, I can't even count how many times you go into a room and you have to clear the room before you can move on. I mean, after a while, like, and this was a thing that I thought, it's been the thing in all three games, right? But the first one I thought did a good job with pacing it. The second one did it a little too much, but okay. But then this game doubles down on it, and you're just like, come on. Come on. Can we have any other like types of fights where we're just getting this gladiator style? Like, I get that's kind of like the style of the game. I get that. But it gets repetitive really quickly. And especially now that we're on game number 3, I can't even imagine how much more they're going to double down on it in Asylum, not Asylum, Arkham Knight. Also, I want to point out that scene with the criminals wearing those bunny masks. That gave me nightmares and scared the shit out of me. What the fuck was that? Sorry, why is that in the game? We'll leave it at that. But overall, and then the ending was good too. I liked the ending. I didn't think that final fight with Joker was a real fight, in my opinion. I think the TI4 Bane fight was the real final boss of the game, and goddamn, that fight also scared the shit out of me too. But that's not a super difficult fight, but it is a good one. It's drawn out though, really drawn out. So you get that, but The game did also come to a kind of an abrupt closure. I was kind of expecting a final fight with Joker, but I know we do eventually get that, so it's not like it's a prequel for a reason, and I get that. So it was a good ending. It was a good ending to the game because it really does tie in well to Arkham Asylum. So that is really, really good. Definitely like that. So this is a good game, but it's better than Asylum, but not as good as City. And there's a lot. I'm very worried to play Arkham Knight now, because if they are just going to do the same thing that they did in this game, the same thing that they did in City, and the same thing that they did in Asylum, where it's the same sort of formula. You have the story with some cool cutscenes, but then you're just walking into hallways and buildings and rooms and doing the same damn thing for 7-8 hours of gameplay. Don't expect a good review from me if that's the case. And I can definitely still see where the Spider-Man games kind of took some inspiration from these games. But I liked in the Spider-Man games is that there's more stuff to do in the open world as well. And City did a good job of that. I think did a really good job of that, and I think that's why I'm not as mad about all the rooms and stuff, because they did a good job balancing that out with stuff to do on the outside. This game did not have that at all. So, but that's going to do it though for this review. My final score. Oh, I didn't even give a score for Portal either. Damn. I didn't even do that. Crap. Alright, whatever. My final score though for Batman Arkham Origins, I will have to give it a good. I'll give it a 7. 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It's a good game, but it's annoying. And I don't know. I still think you shouldn't play this game first. I think you should play, because there's a lot of elements in this game that they do a slight tutorial and everything like that. But graphical wise, gameplay wise, I think you should still play in them in release order. I just think that's the best way to do it. I mean, I think you'd be fine if you played Origins first, then Asylum, and then City and Night. But it's going to be a severe graphical downgrade, and that might throw you off, and you might not be able to do what you thought you would be able to do because of what you did in Origins. So that's just kind of my thought on it. But you can play them however you want. You can play Night first. I don't care. Do whatever you want. You don't even have to play them at all. I don't really care. But that's all going to do it for this video. If you've played Batman Arkham Origins, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.